Hey, thanks for checking out my video. This is going to be my week 2 update for the Frostblades build. I'm going to do a little overview of where we're at and then talk about some other stuff. We hit about 57 million damage on my build, and I'll talk about some of the upgrades that I got to hit that number. Uh, the tree, okay, I added in a cluster jewel. This cluster jewel right here. This type of cluster is insanely strong, and I can thank Behind Eyes Gaming for that. He kind of highlighted how strong these are, and I made one myself. I actually got incredibly lucky on this, and actually Exalt slammed on the 35% increased effect after crafting on the Harvest Bench. And I decided to just go for a 12 one because I put in like a Martial Prowess one and a cold one with Storm Rider on it, and they're all just worse than just one like this. These nodes are just so insanely valuable that going with a 12 one like this is just insanely good. I got a Flat Cold Watcher's Eye with Evade on it also. I bought this with like the lowest possible rolls for 6 Divines, and I threw one more Divine on it to try to get the Evade up. It was at 5, and I got it up to 7, and then I got the damage up a little bit. So this is a very, very good Watcher's Eye. I got this jewel is just damage and fixing my resists. This jewel is pretty bad. And then I got an Impossible Escape. The point blank one is very, very good. So now I have the extra pen here and Culling Strike. Then my Lethal Pride is the same. And what I changed on the tree is I got rid of this right here, and I got rid of this crit up here, and I got rid of the attack mastery because I crafted +2 strike gloves. These ones here. I made a complete video on how to craft these actually. If you guys haven't watched that, you can go check that out on my channel. Uh, Completely from step 1 all the way through to done. So having +2 strikes frees up a lot of points here. So this is a huge upgrade actually. If you're looking for what to upgrade and you don't have +2 strike gloves, I highly recommend you get them because then you can get 5 points here. And these 5 points pretty much enabled me to switch to this cluster jewel. And then what else is new here? I got rid of this stuff here. I didn't want to because this stuff is so good here, but you have to take the points from somewhere. I dropped the crit accuracy mastery here, so I only have 1 accuracy here. I'll talk more about that later a little bit. What else? Okay, I got a different claw, or this claw. Finally got the top tier Crucible mod. I bought this for 2 divines, I think, or 1.5 divines or something. With this on it too. I think it was 2.5 divines actually I paid for this, and the rest of it's all trash. But these 2 mods right here alone make for a very, very good claw. And then I crafted this claw with just hatred essences. I didn't have a fracture to start with because I had the Crucible Tree. Uh, if you start with a fracture, it'll probably be easier, but then it's going to be harder to get a good Crucible Tree on it, and I'm still kind of learning how the Crucible Tree merging works, and I hate it. I hate the mechanic, so I'm probably just going to use this maybe forever. So we'll see. So that's a good claw. What else? I got a new ring, 2 new rings actually. I went ahead and got a Circle of Fear. I paid 2 divines for this because it was a 5760. Very, very near perfect. Excellent Circle of Fear. And then I got this ring right here, which I wanted the int, which is what I was looking for primarily was the int, and then I needed fire resist to cap off my resists. And then this ring I just happened to find. I paid 10 chaos for this ring, which is just unbelievable considering how much damage this ring gives me. It almost gives me as much damage as the Circle of Fear does. This ring was insane. And it gives me the mana regen, which helped me drop this life mastery here. So the 30% life cost mastery, I found that I didn't really need that anymore because I have so much mana regen now. You see my mana just regens. That's with no leech even. So I don't need that mastery anymore. So that saved me a point, and that also helped me switch to the cluster jewel. I bought a Taste of Hate and a couple other different flasks. I dropped the Jade flask, so now I'm just using a Stibnite with increased evasion, and with mostly because of the Watcher's Eye. So the extra evasion from the Watcher's Eye, I'm still close to 90% evade now, even more than that with blind. Uh, and extra fizz taken as from Taste of Hate is very, very strong, especially when you pair it with the extra fizz from here. So this is 12 from this, and then plus 14 from this. So this is 26% fizz taken as elemental, and you can see that my fizz hit, max fizz hit here is much higher than it was before I got that stuff. So this is very strong. And then I got a slightly higher attack speed Flask here, maxed out 17. And once you get above like 50 million DPS, like a 3% difference on a Flask like this is actually just a ridiculous amount of damage. So let me just show you what I mean here. So if I come to this Flask here and like change this from 17 and I change this to 14, okay, and now watch what this difference is. 57,595 down to 56,974. So that is over 500k DPS that you get from having 3% attack speed on a Flask. And I think I bought this Flask for like 20C or something. So tiny little upgrades like this are all what compile together to end up with huge DPS. So you can see there. This is what I'm getting from that 3% attack speed. 621k DPS. Over 1% more damage on that Flask. And then I also got a different silver Flask, and the reason I got this one is because it lets me use it 2 times. You see the reduced charges used. Silver Flasks only come with like 40 charges normally, so you can only use it 1 time, like in a boss fight or something. So I got this one so I can use it 2 times before running out of charges. So that's nice, and it's got decent enough crit on it. Alright, let's keep going because I don't want this to take forever. I paid 6 divines for the Watcher's Eye, 2 for that, 2.5 for the Impossible Escape. I crafted that cluster jewel. Cost me about 1 divine or so worth of the harvest investment or harvest juice. I'd say so far I've spent about 30 to 35 divines total on this build when all is said and done. So that's not very much investment at all to get to 57 million DPS. So this build is just insanely strong and good and easy and cheap. Like, I love this build. Okay, so I'm going to show you a formed showcase here. I ran a formed just a little while ago, and I'll show you what that looked like here. This is the formed I ran. You can see it is 101 quant, and it has 63% more monster life, and avoid ailments, and power charge steal. So this is a pretty substantial formed here, and you can see what this looks like. Let me just mute this, and here we go. I'll play it from right here. So Minotaur there goes down. Hydra comes out. He goes down. Phoenix comes out. I actually eat his slam there and survived the slam. And then he had a big ignite on me too that you can see here. But because of the Pantheon that gives you reduced ignite duration, I was able to live through that. So that just shows you, and plus with Leech on top of that, shows you how strong that is. And then Chimera and Phoenix both go down here. So this is a very juicy formed, no problem at all. This build is performing excellently. One thing I want to show you here that I actually never noticed before, and I've done a lot of these in the past, but this mod here that says Steel, Power, Frenzy, and Endurance charges on hit, I didn't realize that that mod actually just removes all of your charges, like no matter how many you have. And you can see that here. I have 5 frenzies here and a power charge. And I think like this little thing here, right there, it just hit me, you see? I go from 5 and 1, and then I get hit by that thing, and then bam, they're gone completely. So that's a brutal mod actually, because charges are very important for this build. Like a lot of your damage in this build comes from charges. You see, if I remove these, like whoo, that is like half of our damage pretty much from those charges. So this was a rough formed, and took it down no problem whatsoever. Okay, so moving on. Here's the upgrades I got. What's next? Some tips and stuff. Okay, I want to show you how you can check your accuracy. Okay, if you're looking to hit cap and you're still using accuracy, which I think is very strong still, I'm going to show you how you can figure out exactly how much accuracy you need if you're looking for an upgrade or something. So like on these gloves, I can show you. If you come to your item in POB and you import any item that has accuracy, okay? And then go to the edit and edit the accuracy down to nothing basically. Okay, down to 5. And you see now it's going to show me that I'm not hit capped there. Okay, and now you can just add to the number. Okay, 50, not enough. Okay, 100, not enough. 200, 120, 200, not enough. 300, not enough. 400, not enough. 500, still not enough. 550, okay, 550 is enough. 540, 530, 520. Okay, 520 is not enough. 530 is enough. So somewhere between 520 and 525, you can see you can actually find the exact number of accuracy that you need. So mine is 524. You see that? 523 is not enough, and then 524 is enough. So you can do this in POB to if you're looking for an item and you need to see exactly how much accuracy you need, like when you're putting on the trade filters or something. This is how you can do that. So I thought that'd be a helpful tip to show you guys. Gear progression. People ask me all the time, what should I get first? Should I get a Lethal Pride? Should I get a Watcher's Eye? Should I get a Possible Escape? Whatever. If you look at the tree, okay, Impossible Escape, if you take off these two nodes from this Impossible Escape, you can see they're giving me 10 million DPS, almost. Okay, so that's a lot of damage from those two nodes. If I take off my Watcher's Eye, it gives me about 4 million DPS. So not nearly as much as the Impossible Escape nodes, but those do require 2 passive points though, instead of just the 1. And then you can go through your tree kind of like and see, look at this cluster jewel here. If I take off this cluster jewel, I'm losing 38% of my damage. Look at my damage, 35, and then up to 57. So like this is an insanely valuable addition to this build, this cluster jewel is. Basically every upgrade just gives you damage. So you can come in your POB, put in Awakened Gems, see what they do, put in Impossible Escape, see what it does, and just kind of figure it out. It's gonna be different for everybody based on how you crit cap and how much attack speed you have and what kind of claw you have and etc. So you can kind of like just add the damage however you want, and based on what you can afford too. Okay, so Astonishing Affliction. This node, I think I was maybe overvaluing it before, and I'm going to show you what happened to make me think that. So if I come to here and I put this cluster in here that has Astonishing Affliction here, and then I allocate it, and I can take these nodes out to make up for the points, and then come back, put the Watcher's Eye back in here. Okay, so now I have Astonishing Affliction in the build. You see here, if I take this off, it's minus 2.1% damage, which doesn't really seem like a lot for a strong node like this, right? Like these nodes here are 3.5% damage, like per node. Okay, these are insanely strong nodes. But if you come to config here and you take off the chill effect and you go back and you look at Astonishing Affliction again, it actually says, okay, now it's 3.3% damage. So I think before, if you don't put on your chill effect, and you're going to hit max chill effect even without this node, it's kind of making you think that this node is stronger than it actually is. Because if you put on your chill effect, then like POB is telling you that this is giving you more chill effect or something without it on, and so yeah, this node's not quite as strong as I thought it was. So overall, I kind of don't think that this kind of medium cluster is really worth it anymore. Cluster jewel power, mediums versus larges, and that's kind of what I just talked about. You can see how much damage I'm getting from these nodes here. These nodes are just unbelievably strong. So yeah, large cluster like this, very, very good. I'm using Brittle still for crit capping, okay? Even more so than before. If you see, if I take off Brittle here, I'm down to 78% crit. And that's because I dropped this crit wheel up here and this crit accuracy wheel here. And so I lost a lot of crit on the tree and some right here. Some right here too. So my crit is even more dependent on Brittle now. But I'm okay with that because I'm able to make up for that crit with just insane damage instead. But I'm probably going to recraft my boots. These are probably my weakest item now, actually. I'm probably going to get like a higher tier brittle so I can get like 6 or 7 second brittle just to make it easier. So I don't have to just keep doing this like every 2 or 3 seconds because that's kind of annoying. But yeah, brittle is still insanely strong and I'm okay with keeping it. How about +1 AOE on gloves? So people have asked me about that, like for your glove craft. I'm still using the leech or the flask one I want, by the way, which I think is good. But people have asked me about uh, the glove craft. Is it this one? Oh, I thought I had it unlocked. +1 AOE gems on gloves. Where is it? Oh yeah, I'm not on gloves. Maybe I don't actually have it. But anyway, the one that gives you area damage, I think, and like +1 AOE gems. If you come to your POB, you can see how good that's going to be by just, the only way it's going to be good is if you put your auras in it, right? You put in Herald Device and you give it +1, it's giving you like a tiny little bit of damage, like not even 1% damage for one level, okay? And Hatred, going from, if you have a 21 Hatred, that is, Hatred going from 21 to 22 actually doesn't give you any damage at all. You need to get your Hatred to level 23 before it gives you even just a tiny bit of damage. So, yeah, long story short, +1 AoE is not good for gloves. Go with the damage. Vengeant Cascade. Okay, I did test Vengeant Cascade finally, and I'll show you what it looked like, and I'll show you like a Minotaur comparison here. So I kind of just tapped on Minotaur here with Vengeant Cascade on, and you can see like initially when I was aiming toward this wall here, he hit and he chunked like big time. But then I was kind of just trying to like hit him one time and see like what the damage was like. And then you can see here when like nothing was bouncing over here, uh, he wasn't really getting hit very hard. And then I came over here, tried this direction, and not very hard either. So then I came up here, and once they started bouncing down here, then he got super chunked. So Vengeant Cascade does seem good, but it also seems incredibly like dependent on your positioning and having walls to bounce off of. Unless you invest in projectile speed, which I have not. All I did was switch on my yoke to a Vengeant Cascade one. I did not invest in projectile speed whatsoever. But it seems okay. I don't think I'm gonna switch to it. Here's another Minotaur that I did with just Panopticon with no Vengeant Cascade, and you can see here. I was hitting him. I was trying to just hit him one time, like per click, to see what kind of damage I was doing, like per hit. And you can see here. So here's like one attack does like 10, 15% of his life, and then I move over here, and then there's another attack, another 10%, and then another 15%, and then he's dead in like 4 hits. So even without Vengeant Cascade, like I don't know if you need it. I'm not really sold on it. I think the damage on this build is already insane, so I don't think I'm even going to bother with Vengeant Cascade. Okay, the accuracy wheels, crit and attack speed. I'll show you the difference between them here and how you can see this for yourself based on how much crit you have. Like I'm crit capped with Brittle, but if you're not using Brittle, you can look if you need accuracy. Okay, I have 92. I'm very low accuracy without one of these wheels. Okay, if I take this one, you can see it gives me 12.2% damage. Okay, and hit caps me. And then this crit one here also gives me, actually it's gonna be less. I need to take off Brittle first. If I don't have Brittle, then you see it gives me 12% damage, about the same as the attack speed one. But because I'm using Brittle to crit cap me, then you can see the crit wheel is worth much less. And then the attack speed one is actually worth more. So that's why I'm taking the attack speed accuracy wheel instead of the crit one. So you can come and look for yourself on your build and see which one's going to be better for you. If you're not crit capped, then this one is probably better. Or if you're not using Brittle. All right, moving on real quick. The 3 most common questions that I've answered in like 4 different videos, but people don't actually watch the videos, so then they keep asking me them over and over again. You can pause the video here, and these are the answers. Pause the video and read this. How to stay alive, how to proc Trinity, how do I get more damage in the build? Pause the video and read this stuff. Okay, these are the answers. All right, moving on. Farruls Fur. I've gotten some questions about this, so I thought I'd talk about it. I don't think this item's good at all for this build. It forces you to give up a valuable suffix that you share with resist, chaos resist, suppression, strength, intelligence, attack speed, and accuracy to get aspect of the cat. And all that gives you is a rotating buff with some crit and damage avoidance, which is good. And then it switches to attack speed. But we rely on Brittle to crit cap, and the attack speed is not really that high. It's only 10%. It's not worth giving up Fortify alone. Like Fortify alone is worth not using this, let alone all the like other utility you get from having those on the chest slot. You can see on my build, my fizz reduction actually goes down if I put on Farruls 4, even though it has almost 1,000 armor. So watch my fizz hit here, 11.7, right? Put this on, it goes down to 7.7 because you lose all that fizz taken as. This is not enough armor to like make any difference in your survivability because we're not using determination, right? So And then the other benefit to it is I actually where's my gloves? Yeah, I put Aspect of the Cat on my gloves just to show you what the what Farruls fur would be giving you, but now it's not showing up here, the cat thing. Why is it not showing up? Aspect of the cat. Oh, I have to turn it on. Aspect of the cat. So turn on Aspect of the cat, and then you can see the crit one, it doesn't do anything because I'm already crit cracked with Brittle. If I take off Brittle, you can see it gives me 10% crit chance, which is pretty good, but I don't need it because I'm using Brittle. And then the attack speed one gives me 1 million damage, which is pretty useless. 100% not worth giving up the chest slot to use Farruls fur. Regular chest is just so valuable. So yeah. And then the other thing is, the other main benefit to Farruls fur is you get charge uptime with frenzy and power charges, but we don't need that either because we already have insane charge duration from being a trickster. So yeah, Farruls fur is just not good, and it's expensive. So don't use Farruls fur. All right, what about Polaric Devastation? I've got some questions about this. I don't think this ring's very good either. It's not worth a ring slot. Circle of Fear, as you can see, is about 16% more damage for my build. And then Polaric Devastation is only 7. And that's not including the Covered in Frost debuff, which is going to add another like 1 million or so. So maybe 9%, maybe 10. Probably not even 10. Because the increased damage taken has pretty steep diminishing returns with Shock, Intimidate, and Yokes, Ailments, Mark the Prey, and Bone Chill. All these things here. These increased damage taken debuffs that we already have. Covered in Frost is shared with all these other debuffs. So it's less value because we already have so much of it. So yeah. And plus I needed intelligence from my ring, so that's another big reason why I can't use it. But I don't think it's very good, so I wouldn't recommend this ring. What about Tanu? These gloves are absolute pieces of shit for for this build because tricksters have so much recovery from polymath that your polymath is always going to be what is healing you. And you see this as if your leech is removed by filling unreserved life, right? But your leech, that you would think that this would work with polymath, but you have to actually be leeching first, which means you have to hit something that survives. And because you one-shot pretty much everything you hit, you're not ever actually leeching. And so then this never procs, basically. But even if it did proc, adrenaline is good, don't get me wrong, but it's not worth giving up +2 strikes for. No way. I probably wouldn't even give up 1 strike for this. So yeah, in my opinion, these gloves suck. Do not use these gloves. All right, let's try to wrap this up now. So there's really no build out there that's like really motivating me to play the game right now. The Crucible Tree stuff, some of it looks interesting, like the Emperor's Vigilance, like shield throw stuff, looks pretty cool. But I don't know. I'm probably just gonna play Frostblades a little bit more. I might try to make like a really good Crucible Tree. But I'm probably not going to play this league for much more than a couple more weeks, maybe. I just absolutely hate this league mechanic. It's probably my least favorite league ever. The league mechanic just sucks, having to stand there, and then the monsters are like insanely hard, and they don't drop anything. If the monsters actually like drop some loot, then I would probably feel a lot better about it. But when they absolutely drop nothing, the mechanic just feels so stupid. I can't stand it. But anyway, in the next couple of weeks, I'll probably make a couple more videos on some other crafting stuff. But this will probably be the last Frostblades video I do because the build can be pushed further from here, like with Awakened Gems. I don't have Awakened Gems yet, and some other stuff. But it's going to look exactly the same. It's just going to have 30 or 50 million more DPS. So it's like nothing even worth really showing. So yeah, that's about it for Frostblades, I think, for this league. This has been a lot of fun making these videos, and you guys have shown me a lot of support. You guys have seemed to like this content a lot, so I really appreciate you guys watching. And that's that. So thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.